folks. We're out to fix a error that I created yesterday when I was raking. So we need the bucket on, which is what they're doing, and we need the post hole digger. So that's where we're at. Stay tuned to see what happened and how it's fixed. So here's my story. I was coming out of the field that I'm walking in right now, and I had the rake up, I thought, and I turned too sharply, I guess. The tractor made it through, but I should have been down here making my way up this way to go through this gate, and I didn't. And so with the right-hand side of the rake that was down, broke this post off. Sun's in my eyes, can't see. There we go, sorry. Broke it off, and we've got to replace it in order to turn the hot wire back on, because we're going to put the cows in for the field behind me. So they're digging out the old hole. They're putting it right next to putting the new hole next to the old hole. And we have a 7-foot post to put in here. And actually, I don't know when this would ever happen again or soon, but we'll be able to watch Lee do his wiring job. He wired all these fences with hot wire a couple years ago. It took us a while, but this is his handiwork, and he did a really good job. And so that's what we're going to have to do on this new gate post. Raking. I'm sure it's not, I know it's not perfect, and I know it could be a lot better. I'm going to check out rake patterns, raking hay patterns, so that I can visually see it. Jerry gives instructions or directions, but I'm a visual person, so I think it will help me do a lot better job next time. While we're waiting for the some water to seep down into the hole, because it's pretty dry out here, and some extra hands, or not actually extra hands, but some bigger guys. Robert's taking off the hardware off of this pole, so we can put it on the next pole.
Cut it right there, right where your fingers at, right there. Okay. You just have to cut this wire right here. Yep. To the pole in the truck, mule or whatever. I'll have to cut this right here. I'll have to just get new high tensile wire.
We are holding in cattle, so that's why it's...
And it does work, except for those little stinking babies that think they know best. So what they're doing is that they're taking off the wire that wraps around this
Insulator.
insulator onto the pole, and then in the other side direction it wraps to the post. So this is, move your hand, this is what it looks like. And then there'd be wire right here that goes around the post, and that's what we're going to have to connect the fence to the new post, is that end of it. We have our hot wire fencing, 2 strands. One's at 31 inches for the bigger, larger cows, and then 15-inch up from the ground for the little ones. And if we ever put goats out in these fields, that will keep them in too. So it took a little bit more time, but it works. The replacement pole idea is not working. The ground is just really dry. So we're going to try to re-drill
Come back a little bit.
the old hole and see what happens.
One more. Right there. Now remember, that fucking going go this way, so that. Okay, try this. Ready?
To the side, it's going sideways and
Going further in.
He wants to dig there. So we're off a little bit. Smoke coming out. That's from the wood that was still down there from the post I broke off, and that was keeping them from getting as deep as they need to get out.
Come back a little bit. There? Yeah.
Okay, here is the pole. We had some technical difficulties last night, meaning the battery went dead, so I didn't finish up putting the pole in, but this was done last night. It's a 7-foot post about 2 feet down in the dirt with compaction rock, and we are out here this morning to connect up the wires so we can get the cows out into field 4. So stick around. I'm sorry that I knocked this pole out and broke it and we had to replace it, but I'm not in the fact that we have to replace it, and we do have to do some rewiring. And so instead of just a couple pictures that I took, I don't know, a couple years ago, I'll be able to show you how Robert does his magic with this wire. Like I said yesterday, there'll be two wires on this. Our interior hot wire is 2 wires, one at 15 inches from the ground and the other one's about 31 inches from the ground, and that's to keep the different sizes of cattle and potentially one day maybe goats. So in our pause we did one, and now we're going to show you how he does this. This bottom one he's got measured at 15 inches from the ground, and so now this is what he's going to do for the 30-inch one. This hot wire is high tensiled wire, galvanized, and how he's doing this, that's his measurement for the 30 inches. Probably should be maybe a little bit more, son, your hip.
No, I went over there and measured off of that, so I'm going the same height as those.
Okay, so this is kind of a how-to, not that you're going to do it, but this is how he does it. Watch several YouTube videos and has a method for his madness, but it wraps around the pole, and then he has a sequence of wrapping around. It's kind of a slip knot in a sense, because when he connects it to the bull nose, it gets really tightened up.
And it pulls on it, it tightens more and more and more. In other words, it will not spool off.
So how many of these do you think let's not even think about that. Each.
How many of these have I done? Probably
Yeah.
over 1,000.
I think we have 1,000 poles out here.
No, not 1,000 poles.
But do you do it
tie-offs.
twice? Yeah. Yeah, because each post
Has at least 2,
has at least
if not
2.
4.
Depending on which way the wire's going. Because he can do this and the wire could continue over here if we didn't make this a gate. So now, you need some help, because
No.
now he's got it going into the bull nose, which for the fence wire coming from the left as you're watching is tied in this bull nose in the middle. And what he's doing is taking a different, here.
Watch out.
Sometimes he needs the
Watch
pliers,
out.
sometimes he doesn't.
This is how I did the other one. Don't need that long of a tail.
And then he's going to do more wraps. The pieces dangling we will attach to the post,
We have to redo.
and the black wire it connects the 2 hot wire fence parts when the fence is turned on. It's the connector. This weekend we've got a big project going on where all of our
See, this one
gates need underwire
Make it,
wire. And that we'll have a video and share with you that too.
Good.
So we don't need that piece?
I need to make it longer.
Oh, okay. All right. Here's another pause. But here's what this looks like. We're taking off the connecting wires so that we can install the gate connectors where it hooks into. And we may not have to put springs on the gates because we basically went back in the same hole.
Or close to it.
Or close to it. So we might have to put springs on the gates to make them a little bit longer instead of having to remake the gates. We'll see what happens.
Tightening on it. Use that for something else.
I'm sure we can. We used
Do an extra screw.
telephone poles that we collected when the utility companies, Liberty Mutual, not Liberty Mutual, that's my car insurance, Liberty Utilities, which was Empire Finance when we first started, not Empire Finance, they call me all the time, Empire Electric, were replacing poles, and we would hear about it, and we got connected up with a couple of repair teams, and they would let us know when there were poles to pick up, and Lee and I would go out and pick them up.